us pray. O source of wisdom, the power that makes for goodness in the world, we come together this day, all of us at various stages of our journeys, and all of us continuing to journey. All of us standing out in our differences from each other, and all of us an integral part of this Lehigh community. All of us doing our best to contribute to the world with the unique talents we have been given, and with the unique opportunities we possess to develop those talents. We come together to reflect on, to give thanks for, to appreciate, and to celebrate the enormous effort that is represented by a Lehigh diploma on the part of students, educators, administrators, and family members who have all worked so hard towards this day. We come together especially to celebrate, especially our graduates. We call upon the source of all to enable us to take the joy of this day forward into our lives, to inspire us to apply all our learning to the holy and necessary tasks of upholding and creating justice, healing the earth, and welcoming the stranger. On this special day of journey and celebration, I offer the ancient Hebrew prayer recited when we arrive at new moments or sacred occasions in our lives. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, shehecheyanu v'kiyamanu v'higi'anu lazman hazeh. Blessed are you, Eternal One, our God, the sovereign of all worlds, who gave us life and kept us strong and brought us to this time. Amen.
Please be seated. Good morning and congratulations. As chairman of the Board of Trustees of Lehigh University, I, Brad Eric Scheler, on behalf of the board, declare the 149th commencement exercises of Lehigh University to be open. It is now my great honor and pleasure to introduce the president of Lehigh University, John Simon.
Welcome to the 149th commencement of Lehigh University. On behalf of the entire campus community, I want to welcome all of our guests with us today, especially the families and friends of our graduates, our speakers, members of the Board of Trustees, and most importantly, members of the class of 1967 who celebrated their 50th reunion this past weekend. Commencement ceremonies are occasions for dispensing words of wisdom to the newly minted graduates. But I thought I'd leave that to our featured speakers, your fellow students and Lehigh alum, Steffen Ruhle. Instead, I'll take a few moments to tell you a little bit about yourselves. There are 1,071 undergraduates in the class of 2017. You hail from 41 states and 28 different countries. We have 442 graduate students receiving degrees from 23 states and 22 different countries. The most popular major among the class of 2017 is finance. Well, we'll see if we'll get louder, even though the numbers will get smaller. Followed by mechanical engineering. Steve DeWorth, I think engineering served you well there. Accounting, marketing, and chemical engineering. Collectively, you have chosen a staggering 61 different majors, a true reflection of the broad intellectual engagement of your class. The most popular degree among our graduate students was mechanical engineering. I can see there's more enthusiasm in the undergraduate population. Followed by analytical finance, industrial and systems engineering. Steve, what did you do to your engineers? Management and educational leadership. I've heard about the accomplishments of many of you receiving degrees today. I am impressed. I am confident you will do great things. My heartiest congratulations to each and every one of you on what you've accomplished here at Lehigh. It's now my honor to begin these exercises by introducing our graduate student speaker, Matthew Adam Dragovich. A Pennsylvania native, Matthew earned a Bachelor of Science degree in physics in 2013 at Moravian College. While still an undergraduate, he was already building relationships with professors in mechanical engineering at Lehigh, especially Frank Shang. He chose to pursue a PhD degree in mechanical engineering on South Mountain because, in his words, Lehigh has a powerhouse program. Lehigh recognized Matthew's scholarly potential by awarding him a Rossin doctoral fellowship given to a small set of PhD students to help them prepare for careers in academia or research. As a research assistant, Matthew studied how the Ebola virus binds to T cells and conducted blood clotting research for a type of hemophilia called the von Willebrand disease. An advocate for undergraduate research, Matthew maintained and mentored an undergraduate team of students in Lehigh's Biosystems Dynamics Summer Institute program last summer. During the 10-week experience, the team used atomic force microscopes to study the variance and elasticity measurements of cultured pancreatic cancer cells, a technique that could possibly diagnose cancer. He and the students presented their findings at the Biomedical Engineering Society conference in Minnesota. As a teaching assistant, Matthew directed students in the lab and taught thermodynamics, heat transfer, manufacturing, and dynamics courses. Matthew's thesis focused on how mechanical forces due to blood flow affect the widening blood vessel walls. According to Professor Zhang, who became his dissertation advisor, Matthew is well on his way to becoming one of the leaders in the interdisciplinary field of biomechanical engineering. After graduation, Michael will be a postdoctoral researcher at New York University's Langone Hospital, where he will conduct research in the field of cancer immunotherapy. Please join me in welcoming our graduate student speaker, Matthew Adam Dragovich.
Well, first I'd like to thank the president for the introduction, and then second I'd like to thank my wife, my parents, and my brother, because it's because of them that I'm able to stand here today. It's very difficult to go this far in your education without support from the people who love you. I would also like to thank Frank Zhang. He is the first person who really believed in my ability in academics, and he funded my PhD for me, and I owe him a sincere debt of gratitude for that. And last, but certainly not least, I'd like to thank my PhD committee members, Hannah Daly, Yaling Liu, and Sabrina Jedlicka for the expertise they have offered me over the past few years. It has been instrumental in me getting my publications and being able to stand here today. So with all that being said, I'd like to say congratulations to the class of 2017. You guys have finally done it. We've made it. We've earned our degrees in our respective fields. Now, all we have to really do is the easy part, and that's just to figure out what to do with the rest of our lives. So, a little story about me. When I was in high school, I didn't work very hard. I didn't get very good grades, and they did not ask me to speak at that commencement. However, while I was at Northampton Community College, I was working 2 jobs. I was digging holes, I was stocking shelves, I was cleaning toilets, all the fun stuff. At that point, I realized something. I realized I had a really great opportunity to achieve an education. And I realized that I wasted that opportunity for a lot of my life. And that epiphany is what led me to finish my BS in physics at Moravian College and finally come here to Lehigh University and obtain my PhD in mechanical engineering. One thing that's not often said to you, especially when you're in college, is that if a person has a college degree, it doesn't make that person more intelligent, doesn't make that person harder working than people who don't have a degree. So the question is what did we spend all this time here for? What did we spend all this money for, especially us PhDs? I've been in school my entire adult life. What did I do any of that for? Well, I think the answer to that question is I did it to obtain knowledge. The degrees that we earn, that will be mailed to us very shortly, are basically certificates. They're nice pieces of calligraphy that we're going to hang on our walls one day, and they're just going to gather dust while we do more important things. But those certificates are backed by knowledge. The knowledge that we have obtained here at Lehigh University, what we have learned here is what gives those degrees their value. We give the degrees value. The degrees do not give us any value. So if you were wondering what to do with the rest of your life, I would say a good place to start is to not break your arm patting yourself on the back today, and to continue the pursuit of knowledge and take advantage of opportunity, even if that means working harder than you ever thought that you could. So let us understand that this is just the beginning of a hopefully long life, and I think that it is incumbent upon all of us to take what we have learned here today and apply it to the world. Let's take responsibility for ourselves and live our lives with meaning. Let's use our knowledge to empower ourselves as individuals, because when we're strong as an individual, we can use our knowledge that we've learned here at Lehigh University. We can use that to help other people. That, I believe, is the real meaning of an education. If we do that, I think we can make the world a better place. Thank you.
Thank you, Matthew. We wish you the best in your future career. I'd now like to introduce the president of the senior class, Frederick Coleman, who is graduating today with a Bachelor of Science degree in Business Information Systems with a dual minor in Engineering and Africana Studies. Frederick had an agenda when he came to Lehigh. As a legacy student, he wanted to honor his father, John Coleman, who earned a master's degree in analytical chemistry from the university in 1997. Frederick also wanted the freedom to create his own academic path and gain experiences that would expand his skills as a leader and as a driver of change in today's global society. I think it's safe to say that Frederick has accomplished all three. His leadership roles include being a member of the Council of Student Presidents, serving on the executive board of the National Society of Black Engineers, serving as a senior diversity recruitment intern in the Office of Admissions, and serving on the Leadership Council of the Men of Color Alliance. He was also a United Nations youth representative for the African Citizens Development Foundation. For 2 years, Frederick researched avenues to improve the efficiency of digital technology in Africa and spent the last 2 summers in Ghana furthering his work. During a winter break study abroad course, he traveled to Martinique to examine the tradition, history, and political status of the country and its people. Fusing different disciplines and endeavors from business, the humanities, and engineering, Frederick said that he has been fortunate to connect with scholars and professionals alike in pursuit of a great education. Please join me in welcoming the senior class president, Frederick Coleman.
Thank you, President Simon, for that great introduction. If you guys don't know, I'm really nervous up here. I'm trying to keep it together. But again, good morning, President Simon, Board of Trustees, faculty, administrators, and staff, and the fellow members of the bright, distinguished, and sensational class of 2017. I would like to thank all of the friends and family who have traveled great distances to attend commencement, or those tentatively watching live across the globe. Today, I have the honor to give a few remarks to the class of 2017 upon graduating from our great alma mater, Lehigh University. Before I begin, I would like to first congratulate the class of 2017 for their achievement. We did it. The energy spent, long nights writing papers, the challenges we faced in lab, and the tiresome group projects all gave fruition to this moment. So make sure to remember as much as you can from this memory. For those who did not know, I had the knowledge that I will be speaking today at this very moment, almost 4 years in advance, as part of my final duties as the class president. However, I have spent a great deal on what I would like to say that would either inspire you, excite you, or have you reminisce your Lehigh experiences once more. But the thing is, who am I? I have not published books, discovered the latest gadget. I have not made my mark on the world yet. However, I think taking note from our experiences can place us in the right mindset to not only inspire ourselves, but an entire generation that will follow us. After 4 years studying the academic disciplines of our passions, I am sure many of you do not remember the everyday routines that we went through when we look back on our journey. What probably would come to mind are the moments in time that you propelled you ever forward, or instances which you wish never occurred. We have shared a great deal of experiences together in making of our collegiate experiences, and some we had to experience individually. Every year, presidents before me have said that their class was better than those prior, and the class of 2017 measures up to that. We should all be proud for what we achieved through the experiences and memories made here. Our class has had a very unique experience that other classes will never experience. During our time, we have seen the 150th celebration of our institution, the 150th rendition of the country's longest played college football rivalry, the leadership of 3 university presidents, and 2 football wins over Lafayette. The amount of pride we have for institution is deeply rooted in the traditions set forth by students prior, but they are magnified by the opportunities to instill new traditions for the people that will follow. We have found over the years that diversity and opportunity can walk hand in hand. Whenever our institution needed someone to step up to the plate to do the extraordinary, to fill a void, to create, to lead, it was usually from the class of 2017. From rallying students together during polarizing moments in our nation, or creating outlets for culture like the African Renaissance dance team, or building water distribution systems in Cebedia, Nicaragua, or being the voice to champion gender equality and break the silence, and much, much more. Members of the class of 2017 have been leaders with initiative. You are leaders with the skill sets and know-how to change the world, and I truly believe that. However, the road to accomplishment is never done completely alone. Either it be the friends, family, teachers, or mentors. They were there to support us in the best of times and the worst of times. As we make this great transition, I urge you to keep the friends you have made here close as you forge separate paths. To Amber, Angela, Maureen, Jay, and Mitch, thank you for being the exciting bursts of energy that have gotten me through this school by our impromptu hangouts, freshman year woes, or our exotic Martinican travels. To Akash, Ashoka, Brooke, and Ravi, this past year, each of you have all taught me reasons why to value friendships, as you never know when someone has your back until you face a challenge, and they're the ones to get you through, and it gives celebration meaning. Our time as undergraduates is coming to a close, and I'm confident you all are equipped with the tools for what is to come. The platforms that we have built for ourselves to be components of change in a globally oriented society will send us forward. Work hard for your passions and keep your friends ever close. This is only the ending of the chapter in the beginning of our story. Thank you, and congratulations to the class of 2017.
Thank you, Frederick. I would now like to invite Board of Trustee Chair Brad Eric Scheler to the podium to introduce the 2017 commencement speaker.
Thank you, John. Congratulations and best wishes again to the members of the class of 2017 and to each and all of your loved ones. It is my profound honor, privilege, and pleasure to introduce as our commencement speaker my treasured friend, Steffen Ruhle, a member of the Lehigh University class of 1997. As thrilled and as excited as all of you are today, I need you all to know that equally thrilled and excited to be here, and perhaps more so, is Stephanie. I kid you not. Terrific and amazing in every way, and the special person that she is, and in all that she has accomplished, we could not have or ask for better than Stephanie. A native of New Jersey, 20 years ago, Stephanie received from Lehigh her bachelor's degree in international business. Inspired during her studies abroad in Kenya, Guatemala, and Italy, Stephanie embarked on what has been a most extraordinary career. With her innate desire to do right and be the best, along with the boundless work ethic, it was no surprise to her family, her friends, and her fellow Lehigh alum that Stephanie rose through the ranks to success. Stephanie has forged an incredible path as a journalist, financial expert, and advocate. Stephanie began her career at Credit Suisse, where she was the highest producing credit derivative salesperson in the country. While there, she met her husband, Andy Hubbard, when they were in the same global training program. They have 3 children. They're the very best mom and dad, and theirs is the very best of romance. In 2003, Stephanie joined Deutsche Bank and oversaw some of Deutsche Bank's largest hedge fund clients. She rose to be managing director in global markets senior relationship management and was described in Working Mother magazine as being, quote, tough as nails on the credit trading floor, while being a devoted mom who believes in the importance of creating family memories. Armed with extraordinary success in international banking, the call and challenges of journalism combined with boundless drive and determination led Stephanie to a seat center stage in front of bright lights and cameras. With a focus on producing stories of great import and high impact, during her time as anchor and managing editor for Bloomberg Television, editor-at-large for Bloomberg News, and co-host of Bloomberg Go, she interviewed industry titans and global thought leaders and reported on breaking news. Delivering the exclusive story in 2012, Stephanie was the journalist to identify the London whale, the trader behind the J.P. Morgan Chase trading loss. She also produced in-depth documentaries on topics including the plight of sharks and Haiti's economy 5 years after a destructive earthquake. With her passion, energy, and talent ever apparent, last year, Stephanie was recruited by NBC News to join the NBC family. Currently an anchor at MSNBC and correspondent at NBC News, Stephanie this week launched a new weekly show, Velshi and Ruhle. With a fresh take on money, power, and politics, it airs on MSNBC every Saturday at 12:30 p.m. Stephanie is heralded in the subject of constant praise, admiration, and respect for her upfront reporting style and crisp analysis of national and international news. For Stephanie, a very best resource and ally in all that she does is candor and honest expression. While ever so difficult and challenging for many, at all times, Stephanie is true to herself, she speaks truth to power, and is open, honest, and direct. In all that she does, Stephanie resists the herd, pushes back against conformity, marches to her own drum, and makes her own mark every day with warmth of expression from the heart that is neither faux nor sugar-coated. Perhaps as never before in our nation's history, we must look to, and we depend on those who best embody these ideals and values. In Stephanie, we need look no further. She is the very best exemplar for each and for all of us. Away from the cameras and trading floor, Stephanie has been a tireless advocate for women. She founded the Corporate Investment Bank Women's Network and co-chaired the Women on Wall Street Steering Committee. She's a member of the Board of Trustees for Girls, Inc., New York City, an organization that provides life-changing programs inspiring girls to be strong, smart, and bold. In 2016, she was honored as one of its Women of the Year. Stephanie also currently sits on the board and advises for React to Film, an issue-based documentary film series, and formerly served on the corporate councils of iMentor and the White House Project, a non-for-profit organization that works to advance women in business, government, and media. Stephanie is also a contributing editor to Shape magazine, bringing her stories of being a working mother of 3 to readers across the country. And while her resume alone is more than reason enough for her to be addressing you today, the true essence of Stephanie is her ability to advocate for those who may not have a voice by asking the tough questions, her ability to inspire countless women and men to embrace their dreams and expect excellence, her ability to see the potential for boundless possibility even when surrounded by negativity, her ability to stand and fight for a free and determined exchange by the press in any political environment, and her ability to challenge the status quo because to not would be settling. I could not be more thrilled, and it is my profound honor to introduce our 2017 commencement speaker, a leader who embodies the very best of Lehigh. Please welcome Stephanie Ruhle.
Wow. Thank you so much to the wonderful Chairman Scheler, to President Simon, to trustees, including the great Joe Perella and Kevin Clayton, to faculty, including Professor McIntosh, who just wrapped his 50th year at this school. My heart goes out to incoming freshmen who will not get to experience Sociology 101. It is part of what makes this school great. Thank you to devoted parents, friends, but most of all to you, our class of 2017. When I arrived this morning, I thought about Lehigh in the fall, coming down to football games. And when I walked into the stadium, I realized I've never actually been inside. Which is not a knock on Lehigh football, but instead the highest praise to the tailgating prowess of this institution. I am overwhelmed and honored to be here today. Lehigh commencement speakers have been governors, senators, iconic writers, successful business leaders. One of those huge business leaders, in particular, descended on Lehigh 29 years ago in his big black helicopter with his name emblazoned on the side in gold. The chopper. Maybe he did it for the effect, or maybe, unlike us, he couldn't handle hiking up that campus. I am sure he was not surprised to be extended this honor, but I was. When Chairman Scheler invited me to speak, I wasn't sure I could do it. I am not the best alumni cheerleader. This is only my third time back on campus in 20 years. Because in truth, I had a very tough time at Lehigh. I couldn't find my place on the hill. So much so that I went across the world instead. As Brad mentioned, I studied in Kenya, Guatemala, and Italy. Through a Lehigh alumni who's here today as a parent, I got a summer internship in banking, and I knew work was when my life would start, I thought. So I scampered back to finish up and collect my diploma with the only two real friends I had at Lehigh. When I was in your seat, I felt small and insignificant. But Lehigh didn't fail me. I failed Lehigh. And it wasn't my grades. It was the way I thought success was measured. But 20 years later, with those same friends still by my side, now the godmothers to my children, and sitting here today, I think, wow, just one 20-year friendship means everything. And Lehigh gave me two. Graduation is an important day. It is a significant achievement. But I have found that in life, so much less is about special occasions and sweeping changes than it is about just trying to win the day. When you graduate college, a lot of grand life lessons will be thrown your way, knowledge bestowed upon you. People are going to say to you things like, now, you must architect a life you will love. Or they'll talk about the need to cultivate authenticity. I don't even know what that means. I say don't focus on the quest for greatness. Just try to be good. So I want to share with you a few small and seemingly simple rules that I believe can help you win the day. Open your mind. For better or worse, this diploma and your Lehigh education, as important as it is, as much as it is worth celebrating, does not define you. We've become really attached to these big ideas and labels: Republican, Democrat, feminist, Alpha Chi Omega, Mountain Hawk, engineer. We use these labels to find our tribes, get comfortable, and stick with them. And it is suffocating. Open your mind. We live surrounded by people who sound like us, vote like us, look like us, spend like us. We only get the news we want to, and then scream into the social media echo chamber that is designed to serve us up information we already like. Open your mind, open your hearts, even just a little. Just because something doesn't confirm your existing beliefs does not mean it's a hoax. The smartest and most successful people I know are constantly evolving, always learning. It does not end with school. Fortunately for your parents, tuition does. Seek out, that deserves a round. Seek out different perspectives. Maybe even change your mind. Just try to be good. How about this one? Be selfish. When the oxygen mask drops, put yours on first. It is the only way you're going to help anyone else in this world. You know, work-life balance gets thrown aside. Don't let it. Work-life balance is not just a buzzy self-help term that real business people laugh at. You need it. So take care of yourself and enforce the boundaries that make balance possible, or at least try to. So go to bed. For too long, we've believed that the most successful people are working 24/7. No, that's wrong. That's a recipe for burnout, and burnout hurts. Be selfish, because one day you're going to lose a deal or a job just because you're underperforming because you're not sleeping enough. If your mother ever told you nothing good ever happens after 2 a.m., she's right. That goes for partying, it goes for working, and yes, it goes for tweeting. My moment of truth was in the back seat of a car service, changing into a bathing suit for a mother-son swim class while on a conference call for work. The car next to me pulled up, honked the horn, rolled down the window, and the driver said, "Hey, lady, you need a break." I'd like to think I made his day. Be selfish. Do what you have to do to exercise and eat healthy. You've spent the last 4 years hiking up a 45-degree incline every day, and pretty soon, you're going to be sitting for 8 hours a day. So just get active. I enjoyed my very first fat chicken this weekend. It was glorious. But don't eat like that every day. And just because you can have 2 scoops of ice cream on your chocolate cream pie doesn't mean you should. Just try to be good. I am not talking about a selfishness that means 2 scoops for you and only 1 for your guests. Not that kind of selfishness. Which brings me to graciousness. Be kind to people. Say thank you and be thankful. If you had a professor that meant a lot to you, let them know, and not with a stock thank you card. Be kind. You don't have to be rich to be generous and charitable. And don't do it for the credit. You don't need to be a billionaire with a namesake foundation. Do something good in your community. Something that preferably doesn't have a campaign or a hashtag. Start now and make it part of your lifestyle. And pair every complaint with a compliment. What do I mean by that? For those of you who studied quantum mechanics for the last 4 years, and at this moment you're thinking, geez, they delivered me a commencement speaker whose message is be good? Are you kidding me? I get it. You don't like it? Take to Twitter right now. Hate on this. I'm used to it. But when you're done, call your mother and say something nice. Or better yet, call mine. She really deserves it. Be kind. Now listen to me. I know the word hazing resonates on this campus. Leave it behind you. It is not unique to Lehigh or even college. It's pervasive, and I am begging you to stop it, and I know that you can. When you go to work, you might get assigned pointless tasks, expected to spend preposterous hours in the office for no reason. That is hazing. If you get treated badly for no reason, the worst thing you can do is repeat that behavior when you are lucky enough to be the boss. So just stop the cycle. Be kind. In order for you to win does not mean someone else has to lose brutally. After 14 years on a trading floor, I was thrilled to go into TV and finally work with women. But it turns out that in finance, there's plenty of money to go around. In TV, there's only so many minutes on air. So when I arrived, there was no girl power party, and I just couldn't figure out how to break in with my colleagues. And I had a choice: count the minutes for myself or put all my energy into contributing to the team. Now, to tell the truth, had I been 10 years younger, I would have been a sharp-elbowed beast. But I've learned it's pointless and painful. So I set aside screen time and the need for credit, and I just tried to make the best show possible. And soon enough, we were all rooting for each other, which makes for a good day. And when you pile up all those good days, that makes for a life of excellence. Act with integrity. Integrity is misunderstood. We immediately think it's just about upstanding morality, but that's only a portion of it. It also means being whole and undivided. It's about doing what you say you are going to do. Make an appointment at 5, show up at 5. That's an act of integrity. How many of you show up late for class? Time to clean it up. As a journalist, I say every day my mission is to have an impact, not to plug a hole, not to elevate my status. Last year, I came to NBC to do 2 things: to co-anchor the Weekend Today show and have my own hour on MSNBC. Can you guess which one excited me the most? Do you know how much my mother loved saying the Today Show? Do you know how much I like saying it? The Today Show is what it is, an extraordinary product, and it knows what it is. For 6 months, I was able to play a small part in it. But after I finished each show, I'd wonder, how much did I add to that? Meanwhile, at MSNBC, though a smaller platform, I knew I was having a real impact. I got to cover things that excited me and do it in a way that I believed in. We have a president who happens to be a New York business and media guy. That's my lane. I am in this for the impact, and I realized I didn't need the status. What I needed to do was just try to be good. In your careers, you are going to take on tasks that you think are beneath you, but that is no excuse to do a crummy job. You said you're going to do it, and do it on time. Be the best damn food getter, copy maker, note taker you possibly can, because that is integrity. It is also, by the way, how you earn your next job. I found out early on as a young banker my hidden talent. As the most talented dinner reservationist in the greater New York City area, circa 1997 to 2000. And getting the most impossible tables at the hottest places resulted in me spending hours with some of the most impressive investors in all of finance. How? By making all those dinner reservations, I made sure I had a seat at those tables. No one gets a bigger assignment for bailing at the first one, the easy one. Just try to be good, which won't always happen. So say you're sorry. You're going to screw up. It's inevitable. No one has a perfect record. Last winter, I accidentally spread fake news. Especially right now, it is the worst thing a journalist could do. Someone tweets at me that Fox News is having their Christmas party at the Trump DC hotel. I didn't plan to do anything with it. I didn't even know it registered in my mind. But the next day, while covering potential conflicts of interest, I blurted it out. 7 words that I found out quickly are not true. I spend hours and hours on TV dealing in facts, but for those 4 seconds, I was fake news. So I go back on air and I say, I was wrong, I apologize. Now, not nearly as many people wrote about my apology as they did about me spreading the fake news. But the people who matter, they cared. Because good people forgive you when you admit mistakes and apologize. If you break something, say sorry. If you flake on a commitment, say sorry. If you accuse the former president of the United States for criminal wiretapping and you're wrong, say sorry. Because people want to forgive you. We're optimists. So clean your house, not your actual house. Trust me, I've been to those fraternity houses on the hill. They ain't never getting clean. But you can clean your conscience now. You do not want to leave this campus with rivalries or hard feelings like I did. It is a waste of time, and it will break your heart. A good apology is like a gallon of ammonia on the floor of Theta Xi after a Beirut tournament. It wipes out all that nasty and lets you start the day new. We are all human, and we do bad things sometimes. Just admit it and try to move on. Try to be good. Because the truth is, nobody's going to save you. Not your parents, your friends, your spouses, your kids, no one. They can't. Only you can. And at work, I'm tired of hearing this advice. You hear it all the time. Mentorship, how to get ahead. Find a mentor, find a sponsor. That is the biggest load of millennial noise I have ever heard. Mentors are great to have, but they are not the key to a successful career. You are. Remember, mentorship is a relationship. It is a two-way exchange. People will get interested in you and your career when you demonstrate what you bring to the table. If you add value and make yourself indispensable, you and mentors will find each other. It is about reciprocity. One-way relationships do not last. No one is going to save you. So leaving work at 5 p.m. to go to a networking event is not more important than getting your work done and done well. Before you go to an industry mixer and send the featured speaker an email asking if they'd like to get a coffee and be your mentor, I'm going to save you some time. The answer is no. That influencer already has a passion project, and it is not a 22-year-old who went to a school as great as Lehigh looking for a lifeline or a career hookup. I get a lot of those emails, and I don't actually drink coffee. But if you send me, or I'm going to say any one of us on this stage, a good idea, instead of asking us for something, you're going to get a response quickly. We need new ideas. We're tapped out. You're the next generation. So the person that you should bet on, believe in, fight for, and even kiss up to is you. I've never been the smartest or most qualified for any job I've ever had, and I'm talking waitressing, babysitting, you name it. But I know I've got the will to win, and I learned how to bet on myself and take a shot. There are 6 bathrooms in office buildings across New York City where I have wept over promotions I didn't get, only to realize later that I never raised my hand for the job. This is an especially important lesson for women. Don't ask, don't get. And we know that women ask less than men do. You will not get a promotion just by doing a good job. Now is the time when you need to see around corners. Which brings me to my last point, and I know it is something you have heard 1,000,000 times, but it is truer the day after graduation than it has ever been before. Life is not fair. In school, there's mandated fairness. The whole class takes an exam, the professor grades it. Class, study, exam, grade. Rinse, repeat. That is now over. You're gonna have bad bosses, crummy assignments. How about parenting, marriage, in-laws? Hard. Life is not fair, but no one's life is. So don't waste your time counting other people's apparent riches or wins. On that quest for greatness, we get stuck on these long-term goals and obsessed with checklists, lists that take us back to those labels. I would only be happy if I had that job, that house, that spouse, a baby. Or maybe that someone, that commencement speaker I mentioned earlier, maybe his list includes the biggest audience or the best ratings to to be the most popular, have the most votes, the most magazine covers. Or like President Simon, to have the most Instagram likes. Or like you, to be king of that hill. But if you are convinced that it is all about the quest for money and power, then I challenge you, in the next 4 years, turn on the news any day. Now, I recommend MSNBC weekdays at 9 a.m. and 12:30 on Saturdays. But it doesn't have to be. Turn on the news, and you will probably see coverage of someone with more money and power than most people could ever dream of. And you decide, is that person fulfilled? Do they seem happy? So what happens? What happens when you can check off that whole list and still something's missing? Then what? Depression is an option. Or maybe that's when you realize that those goals are just external ideals. They don't yield fulfillment just because they're the things you've been told to want the most. I just want to get through the day happy, honestly. I wish I could tell you otherwise. Obviously, that commencement speaker from 1988 was President Donald J. Trump. And last week, he gave another commencement address, and he deserves a round of applause. Last week, he gave another commencement address, and he said, "No politician in history has been treated worse or more unfairly." When I was in your seats, I thought that Lehigh was really unfair to me. But I was wrong, and the president is wrong. It's life, not Lehigh, and not people holding the president accountable for his own words. Life is not fair, but it can be extraordinary. I am deeply honored to follow the President of the United States speaking to the graduating class of Lehigh University. At this school that after 20 years, I've come to truly love and appreciate. And I truly wish the best for our president and his administration and our country. And there is something he and I agree on. In President Trump's inaugural address, he insisted that in America, the power belongs to the people. I agree with him. So please, take the power. Do not just resist. Do not simply follow blind. Use your power. Use your mind, your youth, and your voice. It doesn't mean you need to solve all the world's problems or achieve greatness one day. Use your power and use it today. Make today a day of impact and just do something good. And you stop talking in the green shirt right there. No talking. It's about integrity, remember? I also think you should wear shoes, but that's just my opinion. So listen, you are going to need those 8 hours of sleep. You need that healthy breakfast. Say you're sorry when you screw up. Minimize your jealousy. Maximize your kindness. Open your minds. Take your shot. If you don't, you can't complain when somebody else does. These are my rules. These are scary times. But class of 2017, you cannot be scared. I wish you the best of luck. God bless you. Congratulations. Great job, guys. Thank you.
Oh, Pat, the students are moving. We now come to the primary reason that we are here, the conferring of degrees earned during the past academic year. All degrees conferred today are awarded upon the recommendation of the faculty with the approval of the trustees of Lehigh University. Will Patrick Farrell, Provost and Vice President for Academic Affairs, join me? Which you have, Pat.
We will recognize each candidate by reading his or her name. We respectfully request that all candidates remain in their seats until called upon and return to their seats after being individually recognized. Thank you in advance for your cooperation. I now recognize Donald E. Hall, the Herbert J. and Ann L. Siegel Dean of the College of Arts and Sciences.
Good morning. Will the candidates for the degrees of Bachelor of Arts and Bachelor of Science in the College of Arts and Sciences please rise? President Simon, each of these candidates has completed the requirements for graduation, and upon recommendation of the faculty and by vote of the Board of Trustees, is presented to you to receive the degree of Bachelor of Arts or Bachelor of Science.
Candidates, I confer upon each of you the degree of Bachelor of Arts or Bachelor of Science with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities pertaining thereto. Yes.
Please recognize the Bachelor of Arts and Bachelor of Science recipients with our hearty congratulations and applause. I will now present the degree candidates for the College of Arts and Sciences, the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in the College of Arts and Sciences. Please rise. President Simon, each of these candidates has completed the requirements for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in his or her own special field, and upon recommendation of the faculty and by vote of the Board of Trustees, is presented to you to receive that degree.
Candidates, I confer upon each of you the degree of Doctor of Philosophy with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities pertaining thereto.
Please recognize the Doctors of Philosophy with our hearty congratulations and applause. I will now present the candidates for master's degree in the College of Arts and Sciences. Will the candidates for degrees of Master of Arts and Master of Science please rise? President Simon, each of these candidates has completed the requirements for the master's degree in his or her field of specialization, and upon recommendation of the faculty and by vote of the Board of Trustees, is presented to you to receive that degree.
Candidates, I confer upon each of you the degree of Master of Arts or Master of Science with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities pertaining thereto.
Please recognize the master's degree recipients with our hearty congratulations and applause. The ushers will now invite the degree candidates from the College of Arts and Sciences forward to be individually recognized.
The following graduates are receiving a doctorate level degree: Leonard Daniel Ensuta, Tia Judine Kowal,
Terry Jean Price, Keith Jeffrey Veenheisen,
The following graduates are receiving a master's level degree: Joshua John Basic,
Matthew Robert Werkheiser,
Elise Marie Amico Ellsworth,
Alexander Scott Thompson,
Jenna Lynn Cassiano,
Christopher Albert Minnick,
Laura Marie Fitzpatrick,
Laura Audrey Thomasina Markley,
Ray Cheng,
Matthew Lewis McGavick,
Abby E. Barlock,
Kelsey Lynn Mulchaney,
Elizabeth Kate Dyer,
Kimberly G. Raylander,
Kathleen P. Jekyll,
Rohola Nudiri,
Megan Grace Clark,
Sandra Violet Mamas Gassini,
Darwin Garn Janes,
Juan Manuel Palacio Moreno,
Chow Wei Feng,
Miriam Hamida Sabia,
Tiffany Cummings McDonald,
Kelsey Mackenzie Leck, Kaylee Alicia Collymore, Rachel Oyer Shoulder, Stephen Mark Waski, Lindsay Florence Whitecotton, Carrie Ann Schoenberger, Saiji Wen, Shenyan, Lian Ming Pen, Brenda Giselle Martinez Gary, Sarah Elizabeth White,
The following graduates are receiving a bachelor's level degree: Helen Faye Ard,
Lisa Nicole Olker,
Reem Melad Azar,
Jennifer Victoria Zudan,
Ashley Elizabeth Balyet,
Olivia Zarina Maubert A.K.,
Kelly Ann Corrigan,
Max A. Schaufeld,
Kenneth J. Brill,
Brian James Sterling,
Robert Wesley Bloom,
William Orthwine Ruwich,
Sergio Alejandro Contijak,
Soraya McCaskill Todd,
Juliana Grace Clifton,
Samantha Page Statfield,
Jasmine Harmony Alashaya,
Montana Lynn Weitzel,
Leigh Elizabeth Holmes,
Heather Stenson Wadika,
Amanda Nicole Granger,
Nicholas Averam Zambas,
Hugh Herring Bartlett,
Rianne Vanderbeek,
Mark Scott Schatzman,
Michael Thomas Procida,
Haley Donaldson,
Garrett Christopher Vornley van Hagenfels,
Jillian Lee Jengaletsky,
Cora L. Summerfield,
Erica Danielle Brecker,
Chad K. Wallace,
Caitlin Mary Latuska,
Ian Edward Traufer,
Grace Morin Chavez,
Jason Alexander Smits,
Taylor Catherine Carroll,
James Robert Michael,
Amanda May Donahue,
Tristan Teague Seaton,
Jamie Michelle Campisi,
Michaela Maorick,
Francisco Javier Barrera Tapia,
Tierney R. Walls,
Sarah Frances Cassidy,
Angela Wynn,
Michaela Renee Bubak,
Bradley Joseph Wank,
Simran Bala,
Aaron Goodman Monason,
Leah Ashley Ferguson,
Olivia Catherine Plino,
Natalie Ann Borman Carnes,
Riley Ann O'Brien,
Rebecca Elizabeth Ellie,
Melissa Bennett Marks,
Kayla Elizabeth Burton,
Isabella Amanda McCarthy,
Taylor Elena Campbell,
Sarah Young Mason,
Mackenzie Crawford,
Lindsay Michelle Sokol,
Brandon Cole Alston,
Vanessa Victoria Rodriguez Vargas,
Derek Anthony Knott,
Kayla Shi Pang,
Michael Bryson Anderson,
Amina Olemide Olagunibi,
Carolyn Marie Gonzalez,
Emily Marie Strange,
Tony Israel,
Lauren Patricia Ragon,
Mark James DiMaggio,
Danielle Kathleen Shiraldi,
Kyle Stephen Durix,
Seneca Shoshana Racy,
Matthew Brian Aztec,
Jonathan David Wood,
Joseph D'Onofrio,
William Harper McKee,
Matthew Jo Hong Chin,
Pierce Alexander Raponte,
Kester L. Gibbons,
Nicholas Anthony Shifninsky,
Shu Yang Lee,
Eden Wineflash,
Marina Grossi,
Margaret Rose Northworthy,
Woo Jin Kim,
Gabrielle Mercedes Haight,
Alexander Samuel Kaplitz,
Sydney Heron Rowe,
Kendra Helen Doran,
Kuran Patrira,
Yara Hanna,
Alexis Nicole Pisa,
Ekaterina Gersopulu Papa,
Emily Susan Sagalo,
Marel Ann Flanagan,
Molly Elizabeth McHugh,
Alyssa Jane Hanson,
Meredith Kohler Stifter,
Darian Toy Cruz,
Charlotte Lynn Weisberg,
Timothy Vincent Kempton,
Grace Landis Wong,
Julianne Marie D'Orzio,
Tobina Shidu Wagalu,
Allison Rose LeBeau,
Jessica Jade Pryor,
Taylor Molly Tivett,
Jenna Rose Pastorini,
Rita Kagazi,
Abigail Jane Rose,
Angela Jin Han,
Amanda Burns Sidwell,
Abigail Cervantes,
Rebecca Jane Unterborn,
Gladys Castellon,
Zoe Francis Schipner,
Teresa Castillo Donaza,
Anthony Richard Ramiziel,
Nicole H. Chuljian,
Michael F. Samorano,
Amalia Catherine Cody,
Yuzi Wang,
Margaret Armin Burnett,
Mandy Joe,
Gabrielle Jean Dardis,
Zhu Ji Yang,
Holly Morgan Kutzelneck,
Daniel Ian Stern,
Yaz Cyrus Boat,
Sue Chain Young,
Sana Ali,
Shalun Cheung,
Jenna Marie Guma,
Ashwini Parchure,
Kayla Ashley Jang,
Surey Persnani,
Amber Ziwen Tang,
Connor Patrick Mahan,
Sydney Alana Glenn,
Thomas Agnello Verdi,
Karina Roberts Fitzgerald,
Thomas Joseph Snibel,
Alexis Jade Apostolos,
Mark Benjamin Rothfield,
Rachel Helen Davidson,
Nisha Kamini Singh,
Samantha Jane Tomaszewski,
Samantha Sally,
Simone Gabrielle Cotton,
Dennis Stillman,
Xavier Terrence Cousins,
Jackson Power Nehos,
Janelle Danielle Jack,
Natalie June Wasserman,
Derica May Lint,
Julia Faye Pressler,
Alexandra Coughlin Correll,
Gabrielle Rose Ockern,
Carolyn Elena Yannick,
Cassie Alexa Tenenbaum,
Joshua Ryan Finkelstein,
Samantha Ariel Michnik,
Christina Lawrence D. Lashinskis,
Alison Chloe Sterrer,
Patch Kroll,
Clara Jane Sker,
Robert Joseph Hillman,
Justin Thomas Wally,
Joshua Lynn Capsis,
Joel Hunter Robinson,
Alexander A. Ferentzen,
Kelly Annie McCoy,
Noah Daniel Reifsnyder,
Catherine May Moffitt,
Matthew Jonathan Kossel,
William Alexander Switzer,
Dallas Boshaw,
Christina Danielle Mueller,
Olivia Joyce Louise Haley,
Brendan Michael Spelling,
Davis Bryce,
Dominica Wade
Mina
Assembly,
Ibrahim,
Colin Benjamin Wolf,
Maisara Huck,
Jane Young Park,
Jordan Alexander Fry,
Christopher Ramondelli,
Yamilet Gonzalez,
Colin Michael Smith,
Cassandra Jane Field,
Lindsay Roy Volts,
Not Sirapap Chartanawet,
Caitlin Marie Ruffin,
Sir Rain Kuna Prayun,
Robert Remy Smith,
Nathan Scott Kime,
Bridget Erica Velez,
Nicole Marie Etzel,
Mickey Lou Scanroff,
Alexandra Dupre,
Mark Andrew Trexler,
Megan Ann Kinsley,
Margaret Jane Kelly,
Elizabeth Ellen Bradell,
Clay Faye Soreto,
Alexandra May D. Brigida,
Victoria Lynn Visbisky,
Carly Lynn Nyman,
Rachel A. Pelly,
Kathleen Kelly Gerard,
Carrie Hogan,
Rachel Molly Brandeis,
Katarina Trout,
Monique Josette Gabrielle,
Summer Ann Sullivan,
Anna Helene Gillis,
Samantha Ariel Mazzio,
Francesca Huttle,
Brian S. Reef,
Colby Heather Berman,
Melanie Bo Ying Ting,
Julia Eve Balter,
Catherine Nicole Salazar,
Paul Armand Asa Dorian,
Hinto Tran,
David Victor Blake,
Deng Zhang,
Derek Jordan Freiberg,
Michaela Katrina Sunga,
Brett Harris Gore,
Pacheco Karina,
Caitlin Madeline Grady,
Nelly Valesco,
Carolyn DeMille Haney,
Adama Shao,
Jacob Labe Chalfin,
Mercedes Bain Maxoli,
Alexa Sarah Cardos,
Mago Hunter Singer,
Monica Sage Glassman,
Jacqueline Sands,
Allison Marie Briegel,
Samantha Annie Mae Warner,
Kyle Thomas Conway,
Joseph Williams Gibbons,
Elizabeth Erica Crisanda,
Rachel Christina Moya,
Phoebe de Guzman,
Joseph Benjamin Cosman,
Sarah Elizabeth Cole,
Karen Fabiola Valerio,
Emily Ross Beeman,
Sean Crispin Nelson,
Matthew Edward Amoroso,
Eric John Thomas,
Catherine Elizabeth Jalboot,
Michelle Elizabeth Volmulia,
Tamara Alexandria Jones,
Julia Ann Ward,
Brandon Nicholas Leaks,
Mitchell Dylan Thomas,
Taylor Alexa DeGroot,
Austin Carl Vitelli,
Dara Drew Lakin,
Colia Nicole Sutter,
Karen Rose Conkley,
Alexa E. Pavia,
Inka Midori Luprince,
Kevin Michael McGee,
Rebecca Marie Fryer,
Han Wu,
Adrian Marie Chodnovsky,
Victoria Afonso Rodriguez,
Caroline Renee Jeffrey,
Lillian Marie Schrecken-Gaust,
Stephen Connor Goldberg,
Joshua Luke Spear,
Jason Michael Nulesnik, Patrick McLean Donnelly, Brenna Elizabeth Clark, Courtney Nicole Avery, Robert Edward Iulu, Matthew Lozano, Sabina Goodmanson, Danielle Dakota Joy, Janelle Barillas, Jennifer Gratz Bateman, Chen Isho Ben, Jennifer S. Liu, Cody J. Chose, Daniel Douglas Liberta, Simon Sun Hawang, Michaela Ann Kowal, Ryan James Lonergan, William Avery Black, Trenton C. Shuvrunt, Linda Chen, Karen Elizabeth Leslie, Noelle McKinley Johnson, Augusta Keen Alwang, Adrian Page DeZorek, Rebecca Brittany Hirsch, Audrey Grace Bayer, Madison Taylor Govea, Gabriela A. Morera de Nubila, Isabel Sofia Bunyaga Levis, Sumin Kim, Jane Ming Ting Chen, Sarah Jun, Armand Culler, Elizabeth Blakely Belts, Michael Langer, Evan Carlton Kaufman, Evan Burke Harvey, Colton R. Caslow, Zachary John Duffy,
I now recognize Georgette Chapman Phillips, the Kevin L. Clayton, and Lisa A. Clayton, Dean of the College of Business and Economics.
It's now my pleasure to present the degree candidates from the College of Business and Economics. Will the candidates for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in the College of Business and Economics please rise? Or not? Did you come today? Okay. President Simon, each of these candidates has completed the requirements for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in his or her special field, and upon recommendation of the faculty and vote of the Board of Trustees, is presented to you to receive that degree.
Candidates, I confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Philosophy with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities pertaining thereto.
Please recognize the Doctors of Philosophy with our hearty congratulations and applause. Mr. President, I now present the candidates for the master's degrees in the College of Business and Economics. Will the candidates for the degrees of Masters of Business Administration, Masters of Science in Management, Master of Science in Economics, and Master of Science in Accounting and Information Analysis please rise? Or a representative sample thereof. President Simon, each of these candidates has completed the requirements for the master's degree in his or her special field, and upon the recommendation of the faculty and by vote of the Board of Trustees, is presented to you to receive that degree.
Candidates, I confer upon each of you the degree of Masters of Business Administration, Masters of Science in Management, Master of Science in Economics, or Master of Science in Accounting and Information Analysis, with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities pertaining thereto.
Please recognize the master's degree recipients with our hearty congratulations and applause. Now, will the candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Science in Business Economics please rise? All right, that's what I'm talking about. President Simon, each of these candidates has completed the requirements for graduation and upon recommendation of the faculty and by vote of the Board of Trustees is presented to you to receive the degree of Bachelor of Science in Business and Economics.
Candidates, I confer upon each of you the degree of Bachelor of Science in Business and Economics with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities pertaining thereto.
Please recognize the Bachelor of Science degree recipients with our hearty congratulations and applause. The ushers will now invite the degree candidates from the College of Business and Economics forward to be individually recognized.
The following graduates are receiving a doctorate level degree: Cheng Wang.
Sean Timothy Mans.
The following graduates are receiving a master's level degree: Melvin Chase Edozie Cigars.
Shannon Adele McHugh.
Alexander Colton Summer.
Michael Thomas Morgenstern.
Samantha Alex Green.
Ornella Audrey Chetro Gunu.
Grace Elaine Jaljuini.
Kendall Nicole Wilkins.
Elizabeth Kier Coons.
Elizabeth Jane Powers.
Morgan Stafford Coonrad.
Zhu Pang.
Daniel Marie Haynes.
Darcy Pan.
Jonathan Alexander Gavalanis.
Shri Lei Wen.
Aaron Zheng.
Murad Ozgu.
Jennifer Ying Sha Chen.
Abigail Lei Posner.
Shui Bayo.
Sean D. Silverstein.
Ramprit Singh.
Mark K. Vivian.
Chiwan Gao.
Ashley Eloise Wertman.
Zili Deng.
Jonathan Wood.
Mai Mohammed Abadafta. Adam Thomas Aquino. Alina Beskranova. Kathleen Lee Gwynn. Michael Richard Hessick. Rehab Ibrahim Elkahet. Matthew J. Ganter. Richard James Elliott Gilbert. Tammy Hoffman. Tara Beth Garrett Hauser. Parag V. Jog. Richard L. Skukwa. The following graduates are receiving a bachelor's degree: Lindsay Dawn Bailey.
Yan Zhang.
Estefina Paula Colina.
Jeff Zong.
Alexis M. Green.
Leon Shum.
Violet Gabby Hayek.
Shou Gin Wang.
Stephanie Amarim.
Ray Tan.
Megan Ren Wei Chang.
An Sa Nguyen.
Alexander Carl Evanson.
Kevin Bradley Toe.
Jonathan Isaac Chisholm.
Gil Barrett Lubkin.
Gregory Michael Auer.
Colin Anthony Nardella.
John Patrick Kelly.
Carl Adam Newbart.
Martin Ching.
Rocky Allen Perverger.
Frederick Robert Coleman.
Morgan Unger.
Hilbert Chen.
Ariana Paige Wanthrop.
Brandon Howard Dim.
Andrew Tong Herkwaj.
Tyler Michael Hill.
Trevor Esteban Sokor.
Drew Bajoria.
Justin Adam Tybergy.
Zifeng Lin.
Aidan Eugene Talgo.
Jeremy Kane Gelman.
Harrison Danielle Schreider.
Kirby Peter Atlas.
Jesse Narr. Joshua Perlmutter.
Justin Cy Brog.
Gavin Manchel.
Addison Julian Bernicker.
Carlos Ariel Rosario.
Jason Lewis Arteles.
Russell Baloo Malaya IV.
Jonathan Ross Barron.
Henry Field Mole.
Zachary Nathaniel Harmon.
Christopher Morgan Peeble.
Daniel Chi.
Kevin Richards Fitzpatrick.
Steve Joe Doan.
Yang Chu.
John Harry Kutsukos, Jr.
Mangguang Wong,
James Peter Biddle,
Kei Shizu,
Alexander Manuel Brint,
Shanjan Year,
Justin DiNardo,
Ron Kai Sha, yeah.
Jason Scott Harlem,
Alexa Danielle Mitzner,
Brett Philip Irwin,
Gabrielle Schreier,
Evan Patrick Sweeney,
Jeffrey Cito,
Jared David Howard,
Megan Angelina McMichael,
Laquan L. Lambert,
Eliana Radin,
Zachariah William Buckland,
Maxwell Robbins Ways,
Marissa E. Glatt,
Vincent Tong,
Courtney Bennett,
Jamal Emerson Willis,
Kiernan Michelle McCloskey,
Andrew Jones Kilachi,
Ashley Ann Cole,
James Mitchell,
Christine Ann Campbell,
Madeline Catherine Walsh,
Victoria Maria Latinizio,
Jessica Marie Sangor,
Kelly Marie Carroll,
Victoria Paige Pantanilio,
Valerie Johanna Lauer,
Breen Autumn McClellan,
Daniel Robert Gonzalez,
Stephen Ward Menker,
Ashlyn Grace Bryan,
Justin Robert White,
Cassidy Michael Green,
Billy Lewis Ramsey,
Janelle June High,
Jonathan David Mel,
Kiana Carroll,
Kiyosh Mao,
Laura Elizabeth Courtney,
Nicholas Alexander Stern,
Sophia Randall Jacobs,
Lanisha Otoni Yu,
Amber Linda Cardona,
Danielle Abigail Williams,
Alexander Fitzgerald,
Jinkung Robert Min,
Jack H. Curran,
Sheila Rankudo,
Joe Juka,
Esther Peter Frere,
Anne Beatrix Birkenmeyer,
Alejandra Silguero,
Bridget Ann Jones,
Austin James Price,
Rachel Eleanor Keller,
Gordon Delana Newell,
Amy Lauren Gartside,
Sean James Snyder,
Cherith Lili Sana,
Andrew Eric Waggle,
Catherine Janet Hickey,
Justin Robert Podolsky,
Lynn Lara Babich,
Michael David Peck,
Natasha A. Lilani,
Edward Hardy Turner,
Ashish Arasani,
Lucas Tadla,
Ethan Joseph Bogard,
Alone Vittenson,
Ryan Andrew Couts,
Andrew Parola,
Jordan Lee,
Bailey Ashford Shelton,
Alexander Otto Fuchs,
Jigar R. Patel,
Cassidy Mickey Cruz,
Daniel Jonathan Marks,
Nina Laraza Domenzine,
Peter Michael Pityuk,
Parker Lee Hentz,
Thomas Donald McWilliams,
Tyler Edward Hansen,
Maureen Susan Weaver,
Kevin Michael Huntley,
Angela Catherine Young,
Gabriel Alexander Herrera,
Claire Zhu,
Daniel Gregory Ezo,
Kelly Therese Adbezal,
Constantine Lou Kopolukas,
Carolyn Claire Ruffing,
John Bruce Larson,
Megan Nicole Matthews,
Drew Greenberger,
Thomas B. Marazzo,
Samuel Elliott Castle,
Kelly Marie Mayed,
Jennifer Ann Dorogoff,
Sarah Elizabeth Segovia,
Christina Ferte Smith,
Lauren Ashley Maida,
Melanie Grinnell,
Nicholas Peter Skelton,
Dakota Mae DiMatteo,
Peter J. Mesler,
Christina Chan,
Kendall Nicole Savage,
Caitlin Ray McCullion,
Kelsey Elizabeth Schmidt,
Brittany Ann Lijuan,
Emma Maria Urancian,
Bonnie Kwan,
Margaret Mary Stock,
Emily Shuagia,
Alexandra L. Panagakos,
Amy Dina Larish,
Faith D. Retches,
Aijing Huang,
Elizabeth Grace Rifkin,
Jiamen Chen,
J.C. Nicole Herman,
Ye Fei Fen,
Grace M. Lloyd,
Shuwening Hu,
Devin Nicole Cox,
Wu Wen Chi,
Alana June Noonan,
Brian Morgan Duddy,
Rachel Helena Spielholtz,
Matthew Demis Lawrence,
Jordana Haley Cooper,
Henry Aaron Brooks,
Alexa Nicole Molinoff,
Dennis Robert Green,
Kristen Elizabeth Prati,
H. Jared Levy,
Alexis Keen Zager,
Rachel Catherine Blackley,
Maria C. Sanchez,
Anna Francesca Grillo,
Yun G. Shim,
Devon Lee Brostoff,
Anthony Thomas Rinaldi IV.
Catherine Lee Woodward.
John Michael Scarr.
Megan Elizabeth Fitzpatrick.
David F. Young.
Sloan Dorothy Clark.
Scott Joseph Skripko.
Julia Lynn Gallant.
Brendan Richard Worthy.
Rebecca Danielle Hargis.
Austin Wang.
Carrie Dorothy Brosius.
Melina Renee Martinez.
Victoria Nicole Hutner.
Jesus Sandoval.
Catherine E. Bonner.
Juan Sebastian Rodriguez.
Aisha King.
Vanessa Marie Rogero.
Colin Samuel Davis.
Ian Patrick Strain.
Samuel Gill Alabaster.
Matthew Joseph Raposo.
Jad Alexander Grome.
Charles Garrett Myers.
Samuel John Hernandez.
Daniel Joseph Sursak.
Ian Hanson Beach.
Henry Perez.
Matthew Frederick Kleinhans.
Akesh Anat Patel.
Joseph Michael Demiri.
Renee Paola Molinari.
Jared Spector Eisenberg.
Naya Shurish Patel.
Gregory Michael Joseph.
Soria Carroll.
Darcy Margot Horn.
Spencer Zane Taylor.
Michaela Rose Burla-Shulak.
Courtney Marie Wu.
Allison Rachel Cohen.
Ashley Danielle Strisco.
Amanda Jane Issakoff.
Megan Cassidy Riley.
Shayna Danielle Love.
Yushi Wong.
Brooke Jennifer Goldsmith.
Kei Wu.
Jennifer Louisa Bloom.
Stefan Petruski.
Ryan Edward Fitzgerald.
Justin Michael Passaretti.
Matthew George Berland.
Matthew Alexander Sheffield.
John Nebrusi.
Martine Yepes.
Clayton Claire Kastner.
Eduardo Rodriguez.
Joshua Andrew Goldberg. Justin Fellman Glock. Robert Jesse Brickman. Andrew Edgar Friedman. Wendy Guan. Shen Gao. Yi Chen. Zija Chen. Thomas Henry Chan. Jake Alexander Abrams. Alexander Johan Adesi. Ryan Christian Lefevre. Emmanuel Ming Feng Li. Alexander Carmelo Fotonopoulos. Samuel Strach Eggers. Alexander Jordan Elkin. Ryan Isaac Liddell. Colin James Gallagher. Scott A. Blumenfeld. Griffin Charles Lee. Henry Robert Greenberg. Patrick John Turpin. Nicholas Edward Bancroft. Skylar Marie Brogan. Carolyn Deanne. Jennifer French. Aaron Peterson. Kathleen Rose DeBellis. Ashley Elizabeth Blair. Kelsey Megan Lynch. Jason Connor Kozel. Connor John Duffy. Krista Lauren Dampman. Lauren Teresa Bozalia. Spencer Pierce Diggins. Matthew Joseph Bonshak. Stephen Christopher Fitzgerald Jr. Connor Nelson Donovan. Aaron Louise Golden. Griffin Robert Burke. Antonio James Estrella. Elizabeth Marie Lutz. Kara Angela Rosengard. Krista Louise Gamboa. Victoria Liu. Paige Josephine Howes. Mallory Ann Joseph. David Calbert. Brian Liam Brown. Julie Maria Tea. Colin Peter Cassis. Connor Daniel Brosis. Andrew Rogers Davis. Eduardo Flores. Carl Bernard Blue. Brian Paul Lewis.
What do you want to do? I now recognize Gary M. Sasso, Dean of the College of Education.
will now present the degree candidates for the College of Education. Will the candidates for the degree of Doctor of Education and Doctor of Philosophy please rise? Is there anybody out there? Okay. President Simon, each of these candidates has completed the requirements for the degree of Doctor of Education or Doctor of Philosophy or in his or her special field, and upon the recommendation of the faculty and by vote of the Board of Trustees, is presented to you to receive that degree.
Candidates, I confer upon each of you the degree of Doctor of Education or Doctor of Philosophy with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities pertaining thereto.
Please recognize the Doctors of Education and Doctors of Philosophy with our hearty congratulations and applause. Will the candidates for the degree of Educational Specialist, Master of Arts, Master of Education, and Master of Science please rise? That's right. President Simon, each of these candidates has completed the requirements for Educational Specialist or the master's degree in his or her field of specialization, and upon the recommendation of the faculty and by vote of the Board of Trustees, is presented to you to receive that degree.
Candidates, I confer upon each of you the degree of Educational Specialist, Master of Arts, Master of Education, or Master of Science, with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities pertaining thereto.
Please recognize the Educational Specialists and Master's degree recipients with our hearty congratulations and applause. The ushers will now bring the degree candidates from the College of Education forward to be individually recognized.
The following graduates are receiving a doctorate level degree. Emily Aragona Young.
Rajika Emily Reed.
The following graduates are receiving an educational specialist or master's level degree. Jessica Adelarado.
Diane Inez
Nagud Azangojoyiva. Alexis Ann Bove.
No, she's doing Master of Education.
Lindsay Catherine Brown. Clara Bowie. Mercedes Ann Berger. Sarah Marie Burton.
Diane Inez Prosper.
James Adams Cantatori.
Jacob Andrew
Julie
Wolf.
Ann Sensi.
Kelly
Gabrielle
Marie
Sabalas
Plakovitz.
Franco.
Aaron Carr Rectanus.
Bo Wei Chen.
Catherine Makaski.
Chelsea Elise Cooper.
Adrian Rose Nino.
Jacqueline Cynthia Cunningham.
Christina Lee Phillips.
Jennifer De Niro.
Nancy Sims Schwartz.
Erin Elizabeth Dolan.
John Sitaris.
Tara Alexandra Dragata.
Amanda Cecil Strack.
Siraj Lam.
Laura Ellen Sutter.
Tanisha Yvonne Elam Snowden.
Catherine Elizabeth Steele.
Lindsay Marie Fitz.
Riley Elizabeth Carroll Berry.
Megan Minor Fitzmaurice.
Kayla Grace Swartley.
Casey L. Hilferty.
Anna Lee Yarborough.
Diem T. Cock.
Nicole
Harmon
Janisa
Jackson.
J. Morales.
Nicole Harmon Jackson.
Sarah Emily Minardi.
Jacqueline Jager.
Laura Catherine Malone.
Michelle Ann Johnston.
Julia Zulo.
Dana Marie Klein.
Dalia Hussein Mohammed.
Jeffrey Eric Kovacs.
Xing Zhou.
Rachel Elizabeth Large.
Education, oh yeah, you're good.
I now recognize Stephen DeWorth, Dean of the P.C. Rossin College of Engineering and Applied Science.
Mr. President, I just want to point out we train our engineers to be resilient, and look at them sitting out there waiting for their degrees.
I will now present the degree candidates for the P.C. Rossin College of Engineering and Applied Science. Will the candidates for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in the P.C. Rossin College please rise? President Simon, each of these candidates has completed the requirements for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in his or her special field, and upon the recommendation of the faculty and by a vote of the Board of Trustees, is presented to you to receive this degree.
Candidates, I confer upon each of you the degree of Doctor of Philosophy with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities pertaining thereto.
Please recognize the Doctors of Philosophy with our hearty congratulations and applause. I will now present the candidates for master's degrees in the P.C. Rossin College of Engineering and Applied Science. Will the candidates for the degree of Master of Engineering and Master of Science please rise? President Simon, each of these candidates has completed the requirements for the master's degree in his or her field of specialization, and upon the recommendation of the faculty and by a vote of the Board of Trustees, is presented to you to receive that degree.
Candidates, I confer upon each of you the degree of Master of Engineering or Master of Science with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities pertaining thereto.
Please recognize the master's degree recipients with our hearty congratulations and applause. Will the candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Science in the various fields of engineering and applied science please rise? President Simon, each of these candidates has completed all of the requirements for graduation, and upon the recommendation of the faculty and by a vote of the Board of Trustees is presented to you to receive the degree of Bachelor of Science in that field of engineering and applied science for which the candidate has qualified.
Candidates, I confer upon each of you the degree of Bachelor of Science in the field of engineering and applied science for which you have qualified with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities pertaining thereto.
Please recognize the Bachelor of Science degree recipients with our hearty congratulations and applause. The ushers will now invite the degree candidates from the P.C. Rossin College of Engineering and Applied Science forward to be individually recognized.
The following graduates are receiving a doctorate level degree. Aditi Chakrabarti,
Milad Siami,
Kedar Prasad Joshi,
Chi Kyung Tan,
Omid Ahmadi,
Giorgio Sampras,
Onur Babat,
Anthony Patrick Ventura,
Ran He,
Denise Yin,
Michael S. German,
Chong Zhao Wu,
Michael Robert Krakum,
Su Guang Shao, Biao Shi, Yi Yun Yao.
The following graduates are receiving a master's level degree. Nicholas Lima Acosta,
Chad Robert Wagner,
Shane Yasinov Denizov,
Joshua Benjamin Okrent,
Michael E. Brown,
Nathan Max Phillips,
Allah Kadim Hakim,
Pascual Eduardo Rocco Lamana,
Abdul Rahman Al Faraya,
William Par Itzma,
Mohamed Kazali,
Nichelle Shailesh Shah,
Bernard Francis Brown II,
Mohit Rupani,
Andrew Solomon Dumit,
Udeshya Singh,
Stephen Datesman,
J.J. O'Brien,
Sarah Elizabeth Kausman,
Matthew Michael Pash,
Kaylin Eileen Kasevich,
Deep Thakur,
Sue Leo,
Shadan Mishra,
Pavitra Bulagji,
Varad Narayanan,
Harshad Surendra Chingel,
Sharves Nagesh Patki,
Himanshu Kapoor,
Kalpek Rajkumar Shah,
Dylan M. Friedjan Veach,
Pravesh Babubai Rana,
Leah Elizabeth Hall,
Kezia Maria Zakara,
Devin Nicolette Dowd,
Mahir Rambia,
Eric Russell Gallant,
Arjun Chidabaram Sabaya,
Alec Lawrence William Entris,
Avinash Ramkumar,
Kevin Jaramillo,
Siddharth Sadasivan Panikar,
Lady Gozman,
Pridham Kumar Sadagopan,
Sean Thomas Byrne,
Varun Sharma,
Sam Howe,
Bahim Rostami,
Louis Paul Clapper,
Zi Shen,
Zachary Alexander Caruso,
Shenzi Yang,
Catherine Nicole Hooven,
Jenny Wang,
Li Jiang,
Ming Zhang,
Chao Li,
Wen Chi Wang,
Long Fu Hu,
Gi Hing Yun,
Jimang Li,
Chong Wang,
Titi Porn Kalpich,
Shoyu Shang,
Patricia Castro Diaguiar,
Yiming Zong,
Amy Nicole Kordaski,
Willie Thomas Robertson,
Benjamin Richard Ivy,
Xin Chao Zhang,
Robin J. Hendricks,
Yiming Zhang,
Shaoran Fan,
Anthony R. Zondervan,
Christian Consalvo,
Meredith Bright Meyer,
Elvia Orali Baca,
Yinhan Zhang,
Thomas Edward Diebel Jr.,
Dongling Wei,
Wenjing Lang,
Puxin Shu,
Meng Ding,
Yuan Chao Ma,
Jia Deng,
Zapong Shu,
Ishiwan Huang,
Bolin Shu,
Teju Chen,
Yun Zhong,
Guan Yu Liu,
Runzhou Ren Yun,
Xiang Liu,
Dexing Yao,
Bin Li,
Shua Yua,
Yu Jia,
Matthew David Neff,
Yu Chu Ji,
Christopher T. N.,
Wei Ming Lei,
Christopher Jeffrey Silagi,
Zhang Chul Fang,
Michael D. Sedali,
Jingyu Jill Liang,
Andrew James Weiss,
Yutang Chang,
Samuel Eli Zorn,
Jala Hu,
Kunal Nitin Salvi,
Andrew John Alville, Evan Garrett Hirschmugel, Yi Hu, Maria Lucia Lakaya Zuniga, Hong Q Lung, Brittany Lee Fisher. The following graduates are receiving a bachelor's level degree: Mariah Caitlin Brantley,
Daniel Martin McKelvey,
Nicholas Hurt,
Austin John Mearsand,
Catherine Lee Jennison,
Eric Thomas Reed,
Justin David Klee,
Catherine Isabella Porfirio,
Kevin Edward Augustin,
Benjamin Raymond Munt,
Sarah Ann Dudney,
Genevieve Gray Schaefer,
Allison Emily Frazier,
Rachel Lee Wexelblack,
Jackson Heath Cochran Carney,
Philip John Vendola,
Jesse Rafael Camilo Vidal,
Kyle John Smythe,
Braden Thorndike Benedicts,
Julie Lauren Metcalf,
Eric James Harold,
Joseph Palombo,
Nicholas M. Comas,
Michelle Sebastiana Mazzio,
Sudipta Chowdhury,
Yun Zong,
Michael Elias Embeck,
Mark Joseph Shum,
John William Bodkin,
Andrew Richard Tetley,
Robert Stephen Bogardo,
Christopher David McTiernan,
Alexis Nicole Haupt,
George Zhu Yan,
William Alexander Kavanaugh,
Elizabeth Rebecca McGargle,
Nicholas Anthony D'Angelo,
Jillian Thompson McGovern,
Jared Daniel Gilliam,
Angela Lenora Marilyn Yates,
Mitchell Joseph Dewey,
Sydney Marcia O'Neill,
Carrie DePaul McLaughlin,
Akash Rajendran Fulwani,
Nicholas Robert Hockrein,
Jack Woods,
Gregory Michael Casey,
Zachary Joseph Newman,
Justin Mark Gottlieb,
Tyler Patrick Martin,
Min Sung Cho,
Christopher John Mueller,
Kyle A. Bohofer,
Jiwen Zhu,
Zachary Mark Fink,
Yuan Xia,
Samuel L. Friedman,
Yijia Wang,
Ryan Patrick Cronin,
Shinrong Ming,
Danielle Marie Klein,
Andrew John Zadawnowitz,
Kayla Christina Lash,
Noah Lewis Saltzman,
Jessica Ashley Lloyd,
Eddie Torres,
Andrew Baker Hutchison,
Conrad Ryan Mason.
Elliot Jacob Frisch.
Rebecca Laub White.
Cynthia Lauren Favola.
Benjamin Bela Sealer.
Jerome Patrick Grome.
Christopher James Palmer.
Amber Lee Hutchinson.
John Edward Enrique Rogers.
Jennifer S. Fowler.
Zachary Ernst Wilson.
Impo Alexander Beaumofahe.
Zatao Zhang.
Ryan Joseph Giglio.
James Luke Wilkinson.
Braden Edward Frigiletto.
Michael Paul Roach.
Joachim Kofi Omoa.
Kyle Robert McGafflin.
Connor James Brophy.
Daniel Slasinski.
Patrick Brennan Donahoe.
Julia Patterson.
Joseph Anthony Lucia.
Christina Marie DiNapoli.
Michael M. Drury.
Alec Matthew Marks.
Drew Seth Hendricks.
Amanda Lee Rushul.
Harry Abraham August.
James Austin Rice.
Cody Eric Haas.
Robert Alban Voigt.
Arthur Benjamin Headley Smith.
Kyle Familler Ramos.
Dwight James Kessler.
Gavin John Peters.
Herman Enrique Lugo.
Connor Matthew McQuiston.
Jun Young Jun.
William Morgan Shaughnessy.
Kevin Borman.
Jeffrey L. Stewart.
Alexander Stewart Graham.
Robert Joseph Sullivan.
Eric Buccararo.
Jacob Clarence Smith.
Brian Patrick Farrell.
Colton James Marco.
Alan Michael Wapperer.
Benjamin Earl Pingree.
Brian Thomas Loughran.
Joseph Alexander Raymondelli.
Christopher Joseph Exazia.
Nicholas Michael Trovali.
Kyle James Blum.
Robert Angelo Marishchioni.
Jeffrey Daniel Laturst.
Kumar Swagat.
Zachary Joseph Hall.
Derek Joseph Wilhite.
Ryan James Andrade.
Brendan Taylor Michaels.
Philip Garrett Bushnaj.
David Rodriguez.
James Julian Curry.
Jacob Alexander Warren.
Seamus Collins Cullinan.
Tony Nikolov.
Kevin Chun.
Kenan C. Smith.
Brian Dawson.
Jonathan Todd Whitcraft.
Malcolm Oslin Erdonawa.
Doc Zhu.
Julianne Maria Kerwood.
Devin Edwin Zeidler.
Colin Arthur Bader.
Emily Helen Porphyris.
Matthew Scott Fowler.
Vincent Michael Pileggi.
Joseph Roman Dizwara.
Jacob Lucas Moyer.
Peter Gregory Hildebrandt.
Spencer Elizabeth Nush.
Matthew Lee Denninger.
Melody Lynn Walthers.
Zachariah Hussein.
Lucas Anthony Warning.
Roxanne Wei Lin Chu.
Georgios Piltilis.
Casey Ching. Victoria Rose Horvath.
Artem Alexander Timchenko.
Florence Feng.
Chelsea Nicole Pordzik.
Amelia Galgon.
Kevin Vincent Sheldon.
Hei Jin Bei.
Thomas Hildebrand Troxel.
Jay Cathari.
Aaron Lucas Sandoval.
Nicholas Shepard Johnson.
Michael Song.
Sean Michael Donahoe.
Peter William Shadler.
Andrew Higgins Doman.
Rachel Grace Santangelo.
Inigo Jimenez Oryarzan.
Ryan David Newberry.
Samantha F. Durso.
Yujing Zhao.
Aaron Lee Ball.
Xiao Chenyi.
Shannon Elizabeth Hayes.
Kiana Marie Wright.
Ellen Spencer Hauk.
Daniel Dawson Reichenbach III.
Courtney Sierra Bell.
Gabrielle Ann Tofig.
Hannah Beth Katz.
Connor James Smith.
Russell Andrew Freed.
Donald Hunton Stiers III.
Yahya Khalid Awad.
Kalen Reed Ogert.
Graham Bennett Lehman.
Michael Vieja Pyers.
Dassam Ko.
Joshua Andrew Smeltzer.
Brooke Elizabeth Lillis.
Liam Morgan Walsh.
Natalie Ann Jacobs.
Mitchell Dylan Rakowski.
Catherine Rose Brody.
Joseph Mitri.
Kate W. Kozer.
Nicholas Joshua Madrid Lopez.
Christopher Harrison Irwin.
Corey Russell Schmaltzley.
Justin Michael Kostelnick.
Michael D. Vu.
Gianfranco Giamettio.
Tyler Jason Roth.
Juan David Barragan.
David Jeffrey Scanlon.
Jacob James Gottwald.
David Keith Thompson.
Ye Sung Lee.
Alessandra Carissa Santamaro.
Alex Jacob Keller.
Gabrielle Elizabeth Martin.
Zachary Andrew Brogy.
Kellyanne O'Neill.
Brett Andrew Hoffman,
Eric Alexander Waxler,
Ryan Daniel Cooney,
Matthew R. McKay,
Kyle Joseph Leonard,
Brody Joseph Pfeiffer,
Ji Chen,
Jacob Samuel Parker,
Jason James Chase,
Jacob James Nelson,
Ian Edward Haney,
Emma Shelby Wald,
Hannah Connor Eaton,
Benjamin Moses,
Kristen Ashley Baker,
Catherine Jenna Zykowski,
Alyssa Marie Altman,
Anna Rose Putello,
Corey Alyssa Bierman,
Hazen Tarasan Sambat,
Matthew Hayes Grushlook,
Thatiwat Wiji Prapi,
Claire Halstead Holmes,
Ara Gregory Pargasian,
Leanne Heinbuckle,
Mitchell Scott Summerson,
Christopher Joseph DeRossi,
Irene Viafanye Sons,
John Frederick Obojinski,
Tucker Lee Somi,
Andrew Xavier Benito,
Adam Joseph Stevitik,
Benjamin J. Mandelbaum,
Monica Elizabeth Shapiro,
Joseph Anthony Ruggiero,
Connor Gallagher Tepfer,
Joseph Barrett,
Dean Andrew Somers,
Drew Alexander Longo,
David Warren Reinhardt,
Natalie Rose Bird,
Sharon Elizabeth Sangermano,
Caitlin Barbagallo,
Sadman Sakib,
Cameron Lee Clifton,
Jennifer Lynn Schlegel,
Angelica Kligos,
Gillis Marl Merck,
Kenneth R. Davila,
Brandon Allen Short,
Sarah Miriam Lydia Longwell,
Micah Tennant,
Vienna Victoria Hilston Fiogolini,
Shane Michael Wolf,
Spencer Tompkins Bianco,
Allison Eliza O'Donnell,
Logan Bo Banning,
Joseph Triolo,
Dakota L. Hartman,
Jaden Thomas Sargent,
Nicholas Lyle,
Ian Stephen Udverhi,
Jean Kwan,
Megan Elizabeth Stronick,
Megan Christine Kozar,
Kelsey Ann Rapinick,
Harry J. Septimus Ambler,
Julian Micah Still,
Stephanie Michelle Gutman,
Ian Wenloon McDonald,
Cassandra Leigh Crispin,
Jonathan Michael Ross,
David Aaron Fletcher,
Nicholas Machid Mitkowski,
Kenneth Kaufman Kisman,
Ryan Nicholas Steffen,
Cassandra Lynn Gakos,
William Anthony Schwartz,
Gonzalo Lucio Cavero,
Peter Lawrence White,
Lee William Estrelado,
Sean Robert Stern,
Emma Louise Bird,
Nicholas Vincent Urban,
Vincent Michael Caruso,
Nicholas Benjamin Reese,
Ryan Charles Herzog,
Jason Andrew Sutker,
Carlin Abigail Donahue,
Jonathan Eng Mu,
Julia Scott Kewen,
Deanna Esther Shepard,
J.S. Hitesh Chaksi,
William James Caney,
Christian Thomas Davis,
Jeremy Beltran Sordan,
Michael Anthony DiMartino,
Benjamin Eric Weinfeld,
Jeremiah Alexander Adams,
William Charles Nagel,
Kabita Karki,
Jomia Avarison,
Fernando Ernesto Lafort,
Charles Wallace,
Erwin Eduardo Fuentes Torres, Jared Philip Hunter, Taylor Daniel Gold, Daniel William Marlon Hendricks, Paul Persavage, Lindsay Ann Levin, Evan Louise Larson Gonzaya, Douglas James Caristo, Evan Locke Eckersley, Thomas Michael Ferris, Coral Timothy French, Christopher Carl Johns, Brandon Harris, Brandon Ling, Catherine Nicole Fletcher, Michelle L. B. Fadoon, Dylan Robert DiUlio, Yini Jin, Yuchen Kai, Wei Hao Lu, Nathaniel Giori, Clarissa Rose Kelly, Randy Gabriel Cruz, Laika Harrison Gardner, Yunhao Lee, Yuji Liu, Jihan Liu, Jinran Long, Vincent Robert Graber, James Joseph Graber, Sonia M. Velez Mubarak, Alejandro Jose Castro Lozano, Fernando Bolanos Areola,
I would now like to ask Dean Phillips to return to the lectern, and here she is.
Just in time, President Simon. And it has stopped raining. Yay! I present to you the candidates for the interdisciplinary programs from the College of Business and Economics and the P.C. Rossin College of Engineering and Applied Science for the degrees of Master in Science and Analytical Finance, Masters of Business Administration and Engineering. Will the candidates for these degrees please rise? Are you still here? President Simon, each of these candidates has completed the requirements for the master's degree in his or her field of specialization, and upon recommendation of the faculty and vote of the Board of Trustees, is presented to you to receive the degree.
Candidates, I confer upon each of you the degree of Master of Science in Analytical Finance or Master of Business Administration and Engineering with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities pertaining thereto.
Please recognize the master's degree recipients with our hearty congratulations and applause. And now I present Dean DeWorth.
Let's see. I now present the candidates for interdisciplinary programs from the College of Arts and Sciences, the College of Business and Economics, and the P.C. Rossin College of Engineering and Applied Science for the degrees of Bachelor of Science in Computer Science and Business, Bachelor of Science in Integrated Business and Engineering, and Bachelor of Science Integrated Degree in Engineering, Arts, and Sciences. Will the candidates for these degrees please rise?
Candidates, I confer upon each of you the degree of Bachelor of Science in Computer Science and Business, Bachelor of Science in Integrated Business or in Engineering, or Bachelor of Science Integrated Degree in Engineering, Arts, and Sciences, for which you have qualified with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities pertaining thereto.
Please recognize the recipients of these degrees with our hearty congratulations and applause. The ushers will now bring these degree candidates forward to be individually recognized.
Jawa Tong.
The following graduates are receiving a master's level degree. Chenze Chen,
Li Jiang-song.
Gigi Chen,
Juan Ma.
Pihao Cheng,
Li Mo.
Hang Fan,
Fei Shua.
Dennis Halavajiv Eve,
Ling Chi Chong.
Yu Hang Huang,
Yun Chang Ren.
Jiquang Hu,
Chin Yi Wu.
Shenji Zhang,
Winnie Chin.
Sailing Kong,
Mongxi Tiang.
Yigna Ling,
Xiu Ta Ma.
Nan Liu,
Yu Xing.
Ian Run Lu,
Judy Shu.
Tian Run Li,
Hao Sung.
Ray Liao,
Yung Ching So. Jing Wei Song.
The following graduates are receiving a bachelor's level degree. Taylor John Brown,
Kristen Marie Valentina.
Christopher Robert Byam,
Brooke Abate Mamon.
Siddharth Ambutapudi,
Jessica Ann Petrakovic.
Stephen Alexander Friedman,
Chan Fu Guang.
Evan Samuel Goldstein,
Thorsten Peter Colin.
Paul B. Greenfield,
Evgenia Nekrasova.
Aaron Cohen,
Ada Tipiba.
Kevin William Fogarty,
William Finch Sully Barrier.
Matthew Merrick Jakowski,
Donald Hudson Scott IV.
Anthony John Lonero,
Ian Sam Rubinoff.
Kento Hirakawa,
David William Lloyd Turk.
Ashley Goldschmidt,
Chloe Hannah Stein.
Siko Hausning,
Chang Sun.
Sarah Marissa Grognan,
Zachary Adam Port.
Stephanie Carol Barons,
Victoria Ann Wedorn.
Raquel Alexandra Doherty,
Daniel Baker Weinstock.
Roger Samuel Blumen,
David Joseph Pulsifer,
Marissa Rose Carl,
Daniel Allen Sauki,
Elizabeth Lauren Hayden,
Carl Nicholas Schmidt,
David Alexander Galadick,
Eric Neil Oates White,
Basilico Garcia Castillo,
Joseph Patrick McDonough,
Kevin Yaubin Ho,
Mark Brandon Oil,
Brittany Sky Kaling Collins,
James Richard Marquez,
Elizabeth Duong,
Matthew Adam Vine,
Cameron Oliver Urich,
Madison Lynn White,
Rohit Deoris Joshi,
Stephen Yanukas,
William L. DeLucia,
Carolyn Alice Katchuk,
Brandon Lloyd First,
Carolyn May Sider,
Alan Henrik Dale,
Oля Voronetskaya,
Francis William Hogan IV,
Danielle Erica Mossin,
Sunjana Shri Chintalapudi,
Alexander Francis Senchuk,
Kulis Jane Dudleston,
Thomas Webster Pasley,
Corey Finn,
Melson Ernst Westwood,
Laura G. Chan,
Andrew James Wagner,
David Alexander Donko,
Corey Tyler Spranger,
Kyle Richard Fisher,
Brian Oliver,
James Vincent Clements,
Michael Alexander Miller,
Vincent Wu Lee,
John Richard Miritello,
Robert Christian Long,
Brian Patrick Scheidel,
Joseph Louis Golubeski,
Jeannie Tong,
Isaac Benjamin Wellish,
Robert Nathaniel Witkowski,
Jack Wells Lauren,
Gotti Triola,
Kyle Burns Lupo,
Lillian Helen Shields,
Jay Ning He,
Courtney Viernam Mesilas,
Ming Hao Yi,
Xing Yi,
Sarah Catherine Helena Fazari,
Chiron Ying,
Norman Z. Alman,
Corey Van Edwards Ross,
Connor Francis Burbich,
Jalu Wong,
Nathaniel A. Jenkins,
Anna Caroline McWhite,
Brian Bell Williard,
Jacqueline Reverend,
Georgie Dimitrov Georgiev,
Dennis Michael Moyer,
Kevin James Fine, Teresita Candida Liebel, Deanna R. Coker, Benjamin Pryor Boner.
So let's give all of our graduates a round of applause. Congratulations. I would now like to welcome Gary Chan, class of 1980, 2017 parent, and outgoing president of the, oh, you're the incoming president of the Lehigh Alumni Association Board of Directors. Gary.
Thank you, President Simon. Congratulations, class of 2017. You are now part of the Lehigh alumni family. We are 80,000 strong. Chances are, wherever life takes you, you will have the opportunity to meet with other Lehigh alumni. As a student, you have made many great memories. From the first day at your freshman rally through today at graduation. As an alum, your Lehigh experience will continue to grow, and it will become even more enriching. So what does it mean to be a Lehigh alum? I have 3 points. First point, be Lehigh proud. Through hard work, you have earned a Lehigh degree. Now I ask that each of you show the world that Lehigh has prepared you to be your best in both your professional and personal lives. Wear Lehigh and brown and white often and with great pride. Second point, stay connected. Join your local Lehigh Regional Club for fun events and to network with fellow alumni. Come back to campus for Lehigh Lafayette, Founders Day, and many other excellent events. Stay in touch with your classmates and have fun at reunion. Follow Lehigh alumni on Twitter, Facebook, and Snapchat, and share posts. Always update the Alumni Relations Office of your current email and address so we can keep you involved. The third and final point, do your part. Help Lehigh to succeed in the future, and that Lehigh continues to be the university that we are all so proud of. You can do this by volunteering your time to share your knowledge, skills, and experience to help students and the university. Again, the 3 points are: be Lehigh proud, stay connected, and do your part. I know the class of 2017 will achieve great things and make a mark on the world. I also know that Lehigh will be stronger in the future because of all of you as alumni. Thank you. And now, continuing our Lehigh tradition, Darcy Roper, 1967 class president, and Frederick Coleman, 2017 class president, will ring the bell.
Thank you, Darcy and Frederick. Following the recessional, please join Lehigh University's newest alumni at their college receptions in the tents outside the south entrance of the stadium. And now, please rise for the benediction and remain standing for the alma mater.
Go forth from this place with joyful hearts, awakened and renewed. Work for justice, attend to the neediest among us. Choose vocations that promote peace and cooperation. Change the world by being the change you wish to see in others. In all of your efforts, in all that you accomplish, in all the obstacles you overcome, may you resolve to make room for faith and love, that you might, with open minds and compassionate hearts, build up this fragile world. Let kindness guide you into fellowship with God and with all who are your neighbor, that you might know peace and bring it to others, this day and evermore. Amen.